Hello, welcome back to Lightning Round. My name is Tyler Jacobs. I'm a freshman on the Red Storm 509 robotics team, and today we're here with our current co-captains.
I'm Nehemiah, one of our co-captains.
I'm Leslie, our other co-captain.
All right, our first question is, what inspired you to do robotics?
I'd say from a young age, my mom always gave me a lot of STEM kits to do, so I did a lot of engineering activities. I really liked that. So I did science fairs, just messed around with electronics in our home. So when I moved to Bedford in 7th grade, my mom knew about the first programs here, but it was COVID, so I didn't really know how to get into that. But then 8th grade, I met one of our teachers, I think, at our middle school. I think it was Mr. Miller, who was familiar with Mr. Fowler in our FTC program, so he introduced me to that, and that's what got me into robotics, and I've been with it ever since. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I also want to echo the fact that I enjoyed STEM things as a kid. I especially loved Legos, and I did DI in elementary school, and then COVID happened, and when I went up to the middle school in 7th grade, I joined our FTC team too, so we were on it together our first year.
All right. Well, then that begs the question, why did you join first?
I think it's just, first is such a large presence in the STEM community. When you think about robotics, there's two names that come to mind. You think of VEX, you think of FIRST. And we don't really have that many VEX teams in New Hampshire, so FIRST is kind of just the obvious choice. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, FIRST was the program that was present in our middle school and then obviously in our high school. And when I did DI, the parts I liked most were obviously the engineering aspects of it. So I wanted to be able to focus on those, which robotics really gave me the ability to do.
I see. What's your favorite thing about competitions?
I think I have a different perspective than Leslie will have because Leslie was on drive team. I was a scouting lead. I'd say my favorite part was probably just seeing the robots and then just seeing how a robot would do, and then just seeing all the different statistics on oh, let's see, our robot scored 50 points during this match. I think that was just really cool. Just seeing all the diversity, all the different mechanisms that all the different teams came up with to solve the team's challenge. So.
Leslie?
Yeah, I'd say being on drive team and obviously the immediate friendships that creates were a big part of what I love about it. But in general, my favorite competitions are probably the ones where we get to travel and stay in hotels, just because I've had a ton of fun getting to make great friendships through that in drive team.
Mm-hmm. What are some skills that you guys have learned from robotics?
I'd say definitely the ability to work with different kinds of people, because before that I wasn't the greatest at teamwork. First definitely strives to ingrain teamwork in all of its members, so that's definitely helped me grow a lot. And then also just a lot of just technical fluency and different electrical, also mechanical skills. Just through my time in electrical, also just seeing how the mechanical kids do all of their work, and then seeing all the different mechanisms they design with different mechanical parameters. And then also last year, since I was finance lead, I learned about managing finances for businesses, balancing inputs of income and then also your expenditures. So that was really interesting.
Mm-hmm. Leslie?
Yeah, I definitely also think I've learned a lot about teamwork. I think my public speaking has improved a lot through the team and through being on awards team and doing strategy, two very different kinds of public speaking. I think outreach really definitely taught me how to manage people much more, since a large portion of that is managing people and planning things. And I think that's definitely something I found to enjoy. Obviously, along with I've learned a bunch about electrical that I definitely didn't know before and all the other technical aspects of it.
Mm-hmm. How do you use those skills outside of robotics?
I currently work at UNH in the lightning physics lab, and then for that I had to learn how to do Ethernet crimping, because we use power over Ethernet. I struggled with it a lot. I think my sophomore year, my freshman year, but now that I generally know what's going on, I can use that in the workplace. And then also I do research at a lab up in Hanover, and I had to do a little bit of soldering and a little bit of just and also teamwork in general, to work with my group to work on a research project. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I also do tech for theater, and so a lot of that coiling cables, and so I do sound specifically, so there's definitely a lot of overlap in some of the things needed, and even just the technical jargon and how things are used, and obviously building sets, knowing how to build field pieces for robotics. Those skill sets definitely overlap, but I've also been able to use the knowledge I've gained in robotics, both in terms of actual technical knowledge and leadership skills, through the things I do for the Girl Scouts, and I've been able to then bring that back to robotics.
Mm-hmm. What's your favorite department to work with, and why?
It's a difficult one. I kind of have to say, I think design, because design has to have the most amount of connection between like all of the technical departments at least, because like when you design a robot, you have to design around your mechanical and also your electrical constraints. And also like designing is like where you can have a lot of like creativity when making robots, whereas like with electrical, you can't take creative liberties in soldering stuff. There's like one right way to solder stuff, or like it doesn't work. But like with like designing, there's like so many different ways that you can design a robot to perform specific functions. And like we see that at competitions with all of the different teams that we see, there's so many different functions. So I think I really like design.
Yeah, I'd kind of say that my favorite department to work in is probably electrical. I started in mechanical, but it's where I spent a large portion of my freshman year, and it's just something I really like, the hands-on aspects of it and kind of having problems to solve and being able to like figure out solutions or troubleshoot. I think that's really interesting. But then like I also find strategy like within the context of competitions to be something I'm really passionate about, and like how you plan matches to work with other teams and like score the most and be most effective as a unit.
Sounds like you guys really like the competitions, huh?
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing about robotics not in the competitions, though?
I think just the community that we have. I mean, like even when we're not in build season, spending 18 hours per week together, like we like during advisory A's, during win periods, someone will always be in the shop, and it's just like a nice place to go to, like just to do like hangouts, do homework, or like work on robotics stuff. And I just really like that community because like I know I have these like lifelong friends from robotics I'll always be able to like count on, no matter even after I graduate high school into college, going through college, and like even like not even at the school, just like first in general, like if you could connect with someone on like, oh, we both did first, like even in like the workplace in like 20 years from now, like if I meet someone and like they also did first in high school, that's something we can instantly connect about and we can probably talk about for a long time. So I like that like instant like large community that you're accepted into.
Yeah, I'd completely agree. I think the community that we like form within our team and other people is a really big part of it. And I also like when we're able to host events and do different things, we're able to interact with the community. The Badge Blast is one of my favorite events, and so are the invention conventions, where we can kind of just spread our love for STEM with younger generations and get them involved. And that's kind of like great to like see a younger version of myself and be able to introduce to them to something that like I care about so much.
Speaking of little kids, how do you feel that you've grown in the field of STEM and robotics since you first started it?
I think robotics has definitely pushed me out of my comfort zone. Before, like, I was very like rigid as a child. Like, I was very against change. Like, if my mom changed my plans on like a Saturday from like going grocery shopping to like, I don't know, like even if it was like going to the zoo, I'd be like, yeah, I don't want to do that. I want to go what was planned beforehand. But like with robotics, I think I definitely learned how to be more flexible, and that gave me a lot more opportunities to go against like what I thought I should do and go like what my like go against what my like brain thought I should do and more against like what my heart wants to do. So like for example, for like I don't know, like it just gave me a lot more boldness and a lot more like just more confidence in myself to go pursue what I'm passionate about.
I think for me, robotics has really helped me to grow as a leader and be able to like work with many different types of people. Like there's people who I definitely wouldn't have like met or interacted with otherwise that I meet in robotics. And I think that's kind of a big thing, is that since robotics has so many different aspects, there's so many different people who join. And I think in general, it's just really helped me to grow as a leader, to be able to manage those people and teach different both technical and non-technical skills.
Our next question is a little bit of propaganda from the media team. Where do the great passwords from at the beginning of every meeting come from? Where do the amazing passwords come from?
Oh, when I make them, I just like, it's either whatever first comes into my mind, or I'll ask Dave, then Dave will tell me, because Dave always knows.
Dave always knows.
Yeah, I think last year by build season when I was doing the passwords, because so for context, the meeting passwords are for our attendance, so we can like keep track of who was at what meeting. But so last year I'd kind of just like pick something we were doing, like if we were building like swerve modules, I'd just call it swerve. Or if it was like before an event, I'd just like call it that event. I wasn't particularly creative, but Julia, our media leads, really stepped it up this year in terms of originality for passwords.
What was the one last meeting?
I think it was like Dave Duck exclamation point or something.
No, not Dave. I remember, I think 2 meetings ago, some celebrity.
It was like
meetings
it was
ago-
like Gukesh or something. It was like
I think it
Gukesh was playing in like a tournament.
I think it was Gukesh. Anyway, changing subject. What is one of your favorite games that you've been on a media team? or on
Leslie and I got
Robotics?
the same answer.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
Same answer?
Yeah, crescendo.
Let's hear it.
Just like having like the shooting part of just the game was like so cool because number one, it felt really fast paced because like you're shooting like these notes really fast and you have these spinning flywheels everywhere and it's just like really action packed. Also, what's different about Crescendo from this year's game is that this year's game, all the robots are confined to like their side of the field and like you just kind of stay in your little corner. But like a Crescendo, you start on one side and you have to go all the way to the other side to go grab your game pieces. So there's like so much traffic in the middle and like so many collisions between robots and so much like just defense. Like at Worlds, like defense was such a large part of the strategy there. It's like there was like so much strategy during that game because like you would have like a robot defending, you could have a robot ferrying. There's just a lot of different nuances to the game that I really liked.
Yeah, I think also Crescendo, obviously, shooter games are always very cool. In terms of like games I was human player for, that was definitely my favorite. It definitely, I'm also kind of biased because we went to Worlds with that game, which was obviously awesome. So, but just like the speed that the robots moved at, and there's like nothing better than the hype of the first time we like made our climb at our first event, and that was just insanely cool to be able to like watch and cheer for.
Mm-hmm. How do you plan to continue evolving as a leader and in the field of robotics for the future?
I think I definitely want to continue like mentoring for first once I graduate, like maybe coming back to Team 509 or like if there's like a first team or like first events in my area, I want to help be a part of that. Also, just going into college, I want to major in something in STEM so I can become a STEM leader in the workforce and then promote more people to do first robotics. Like, you know, if I have a coworker that I feel comfortable with, hey, your kids should definitely do robotics, you know? It's a very good experience.
Yeah, I think so. I still have one more year left on the team, so I definitely want to like be able to enjoy that and see where that like takes me as a leader and what I'm able to contribute. And then also, I really enjoy volunteering, especially with FRC. I was a scorekeeper at one of the events last year, and that was just so fun to then also be able to like meet all the other people involved. And it's just cool to see like how many different skills you could use, like even if I like was to do AV for an event and like bring in my theater tech knowledge.
With volunteering, that brings up a question. How have you felt that you've made a lasting impact on the robotics community, like as a whole?
I think it's very fulfilling that like you see the work that you've put in throughout the years, and it's kind of like build season where like in the beginning we don't have a robot at all, and then like at the end of it we have a completely functioning robot. That's kind of like me how I'm looking back on like my 5 years in first. Like if I took like I guess like all of my contributions throughout, it's like kind of insane to think that I've contributed a lot to the team. Like at the end of last year, I remember I couldn't believe that I actually raised like $50,000 because at the beginning that felt like not feasible for me. Like after like, I mean, we were able to compete all of our district events, so like I think I did my job okay. So like that was like pretty fulfilling, and just like knowing it, just, like once again going back to like self-confidence, like it gave me the self-confidence that if I set myself to do something, then I can achieve that.
Yeah, I think for me, it's just like amazing to see the impact I'll have on kids. But so I'm a camp counselor, so I obviously enjoy working with kids. I would not do it. But it's just great to be able to go to the invention conventions or to go to 509 Day and see a kid who's like, oh yeah, I saw you at the library STEM day, or I saw you at the badge blast. And it's just great to like see them again and then have them recognize you. Or I saw a kid at a concert and he comes up to me and goes, are you with robotics? Were you at my school? And I was like, yeah. So it's just really great to be able to see the impact that like we might not realize we have. Because at the invention conventions, we're seeing 50 plus kids in a day. But like being able to have those interactions with them and realize how much it matters is just a really great feeling.
All right, my final question for you guys. If you could talk to yourself, a past version of yourself, about, say, 5th grade, what would be the main thing you tell them about robotics for their future? Something that you didn't know when you were first starting.
I'd say just don't limit yourself to just like one different aspect. Just try whatever you want to try, and then just put your all into everything. And then if you put your all into everything, then everything will turn out okay.
Yeah, I think I kind of say the same thing of just like being willing to like soak up everything and just like take the time to find out what you're interested in, even if it's not just the first thing you do, and like be ready to like make friendships and connections that will last for years to come.
Mm-hmm.